Hi there, it's Craig here. Good wine. Okay, it's time to disclose the Christmas lights in the box mystery. Although I'm sure some of you know what it's for. But I have been asked why and how and, you know, what's that's all about. So here we go. Basically, that's a method of keeping the beer warm, keeping the beer at a decent temperature. If you're brewing your beer in a basement when you've got a cooler climate, sometimes during the winter months your basement can get cold. Mine gets down to about 66, 67 degrees sometimes, and so the beer is going to take a lot longer to carbonate and mature and clear in the bottle when you're doing it at that low a temperature. So what I do, and this is a simple thing to do really, is I use a string of Christmas lights. And basically what you do, now these are just regular incandescent lights. These are low voltage ones. They're not the big high voltage bright, you know, glass ones that are easy to break, and I don't like using them because if they break, it's 120 volts sitting right there ready to shock you. Okay, so these only run on a slow volt. They do plug in, but just the way they're hooked up, each bulb only gets about 6 volts or something like that. So it's not a big deal if one of them breaks. Now you can't use the LED lights, the new LED lights, because they don't warm. They don't get hot. They don't get warm even. These do, and so these are perfect. So then what you do is when you bottle your beer, get yourself a box big enough that you can fit all the beer in, and try to get a box where it all fits in nice and even. And it has to have a lid, okay? So then what you do is you get your Christmas lights and you string them. Here, I'll show the box. There's my box. It's been around, believe me, it's an old box. And I'll just open it up here, and there's the setup. Now, I'm in the middle of drinking this batch, so it's not a full box, but you get the idea. I just string the Christmas lights up and down the rows of bottles, put a row of Christmas lights in between each row of bottles, and any they're left I just put off to the side, or I'll spread around over top, just on top of everything. And there's my thermostat, and then I'll close the lid, and I'll set the thermostat to about 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, now let's just jump back for a second here. Let's say you don't have a thermostat, and I'll show you mine in a minute, and I'll tell you how it works and how I hooked it up. Let's say you don't want to do that. You've got some Christmas lights around. You've got this batch of beer. You want to keep it a little bit warm. I'd say around 75 degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit is a good temperature to keep your beer in the bottle while you're conditioning it. Okay, for 2 weeks or whatever. So you just got some Christmas lights around. Take the lights, string them around inside the box. Leave any extra lights hanging outside the box. Okay, close the lid, plug them in, stick a thermometer in there, like a good get yourself a digital meat thermometer or something like that, or just stick the probe in there and monitor the temperature, and you'll know what to do. If the temperature gets too high, then you need to take out more of the bulbs, right? You just pull out more of the string of bulbs, leaving less bulbs inside the box. And just keep doing that until you get a good balance of temperature, right? If it's too cold in there, then feed more bulbs into the box, and until you get, and eventually you'll get the right temperature. All right, that's the easy, simple way of doing it. You don't have to mess around with the thermostats and wiring and things like that. You just get these and you do it. But a nice way of doing this is a way that you don't have to do this, taking bulbs in and out all the time. So what I've got here, this is my thermostat. It's quite old. I don't even know where I got it from. I'm sure it's probably from the 1970s. But anyway, you have to make sure that you get a line thermostat. See, it's falling apart even. Actually, I've got it. I'm going to take it apart in a minute and show you the inside. Get yourself a line thermostat. This is a thermostat that operates at 120 or 240 volts. It's made to switch on an electric heating system. Okay, so it's made to run to connect up to the hydro. I think some of the living room, like the thermostats that you have in your living room, I think they're not high voltage thermostats. They control a lower voltage relay that when that relay turns on, it triggers a higher voltage relay down in the basement in your furnace, which turns on your furnace. So there's only low voltage up in your living room. Okay, and that won't work because you'll blow that sucker to bits if you hook that up to 120 volts, right? So make sure it's a good one just to ask for is a electric heater thermostat. And I went ahead and put mine in like a utility box, or whatever you call these things, a switch box. And the way you wire it up, now yours might be different, and I'm sure it will come with a wiring diagram. Basically, on one end here, I've got this nice long lamp cord wire, just standard lamp cord wire, and a plug on one end. All right, and I've hooked this up. This is what plugs into the wall, and it comes in through the end of this box here, and it goes inside the thermostat. I'll just take the cover off here. Okay, so there's two wires coming in on this right here, right? Two wires stuck together. They go in. One of them comes in and goes straight back out again, and into one side of this thing. The other wire is cut, and it goes through the switch. This is basically a switch. It's just a heat, thermostat switch. But it's the same as if you're hooking up a light switch. It's exactly the same circuitry. So one wire comes in, goes straight through and out. The other wire comes in, goes through the switch, and then out. And you connect them up to this, which is an electrical outlet, right? So it's like an extension cord with a thermostat. And then you place this in your box with your beer, and you set it at, whatever temperature you want it to be at. And then you just check it and make sure it's staying at that temperature, and you leave it. And when the bulbs come on, it'll heat inside the box, and then when that gets to a certain temperature, this will click off. And then when the bulbs are off and the temperature goes down to a certain point, this will click back on, and keep the temperature a constant temperature inside the box. That's a great way to do it. And it's once you get it set up and working properly, it's you don't have to worry about it. You just forget about it, and it just sits there for a couple weeks. And then after about 1 or 2 weeks of bottle conditioning like that, you just turn it off and let the bottles cool down a bit, and then you drink them. That's the best part. Now, you could go a little more elaborate way, where you could actually get some wood and build a box. And get yourself some 2x2s or 2x4s and make a frame, right? And then just get some wallboard and make an enclosure. And then what you would do is you would get like a light bulb, a regular incandescent light bulb. I don't know what's going to happen when they take those off the market, because it looks like they're going to be replacing them with those coily fluorescent energy-saving bulbs. But I think you'll always be able to get an incandescent light bulb. So if not, we'll have to figure something else out. So yeah, build your box, put your light bulb inside the box, like a 40 or 60 watt light bulb or whatever, and then hook up your thermostat the same way I just showed you how, and either just sit this inside the box, or mount it on the outside so you can control it from the outside. But the thermostat has to be sensing the temperature inside the box. So part of it has to be on the inside, and the knob could be on the outside, I guess. All right. Now, and then you could have like a hinged lid, or whatever you want to do there is fine. And then you could poke a little hole in the side of the box, and you could stick like a meat thermometer in there, preferably a digital meat thermometer. Stick the probe right through the hole, and you could continuously monitor the temperature of the inside of the box. Perfect. Okay. Now, the light that comes off of an incandescent light bulb does not harm the beer. Normally, we don't like to expose our beer to light, especially sunlight, because it can make it skunky. There's a chemical reason for that. I'm not familiar with it, but I know somebody explained it on one of my videos in the comment section. But these lights don't produce enough ultraviolet light, if any, to worry about it, and neither does a regular incandescent bulb. So not to worry, the light will not hurt your beer, and just thought I'd throw that in. Okay, so yeah, I've got my little orange box sitting over there with the lights on inside, and it's sometimes can be quite a conversation piece, really, when somebody comes over who's never been here before, and they ask me what that is. Why do you have a box with, like, it's lit up inside that box? What are you doing in there? And I remember once I said to the person, I said, well, we grow chickens, and I'm incubating the eggs in there so they can hatch. And they believed me. They were like, oh, really? Wow, that's weird. And like they believed me. And then I opened it and went, nah, it's just beer. So it was kind of funny. I think that's about, about all I wanted to talk about there. Of course, you know about the heat belts that you can put around your fermenters to keep them at a good temperature. And if you don't have a heat belt, you can use a heating pad. Just put the heating pad, the things you put on your body when you've got a sore back or whatever. Just set it to low, strap it around the fermenter or whatever, and then just monitor the temperature of your fermenter. Get one of those little stick-on thermometers. They're the best, to have one of those stuck on there. Just monitor the temperature, and if you have to turn that thing off once in a while and let it cool, or you can shove like a towel or something in between the heating pad and the fermenter just to keep the heat from getting through as much, and so it doesn't get too hot. I'm about to actually do an experiment using a heating pad as a heat belt, just to see if it does work and if I can validate that for people who can't find the heat belts. Okay, so that's about it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you don't electrocute yourself. I don't want to be responsible for you killing yourself. I don't want some angry wife messaging me saying, you killed my husband, he was, always do it with it unplugged. Try to know what you're doing. Have a little bit of an electrical background if you can. And use a continuity tester to test across these prongs before you plug it in, just to make sure you don't have a short circuit. All right, you are working with line voltage here, and you don't want to, cause a fire or a spark or get yourself a shock. Okay, so just be careful with that. Thanks for watching. I hope that helps, and more videos are coming. Got more topics to discuss, and some music stuff coming up. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I get busy sometimes, and I can't do this all the time, but I'm more than happy to do it whenever I can, and I appreciate your support, your comments, your ratings, and your subscriptions. Thank you very much, everybody, for the support. All right, take care, guys. Cheers. Oh, it's good. Oh, Christmas lights. Whoops. Oh,